Welcome, 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 everyone. This is Tracy Wagner with Versatile Inspirations, and today we're going to continue down the road learning about angels and spirit, and that's to go along with my upcoming course, Angels and Spirit 101. And today we're going to be discussing who are the angels. So let me screen share and we'll get started. Wonderful. And today's topic is, who are the angels? So first, let's talk about what we can truly sense, and that is the angelic energy that they give off when they're around us. So it can be a myriad of different feelings, or some people can see them, you can hear them. So some of those thoughts or feelings or just the experience that you get when you are in their presence or when they are in your presence it's palpable. You can feel it. The energy shifts, and a lot of times you'll get this sense of something is around you. Not that weird feeling like you're being watched, but it's an all-encompassing sense of love. It is just so strong, and that's palpable whether you just feel it, whether you hear it, or whether you see it. It's just an experience like no other, especially when you're open to having those experiences. It is a palpable experience. It's soft. Sometimes the softer angels, you'll be able to feel it, and it just feels like if the energy was very heavy in the room that you're in, it softens. It kind of just allows for that peaceful, loving energy to be all-encompassing in that space. It can be kind. You can be in a situation where maybe there's an argument that has erupted, and when angels want to just kind of soften that, what happens is there's a kindness that seems to come over you, or maybe the person that's arguing, or maybe the person that is the arguer or the arguee. The people that are arguing, sometimes they're all of a sudden seems to be a softness and a kindness that goes along. Sometimes you're the person that is offering that kindness. And this doesn't matter if it's coming from an angelic presence. You are an earth angel, and you can experience that kindness that you can offer to any situation. Sometimes it's a strong sense. Sometimes there needs to be that strong, assertive feeling that needs to happen or be felt or known. And so archangels, like Archangel Michael, is one that has that strength, and he brings that strength into situations. And so when you're needing a strong presence, Archangel Michael is a great one to call on for that. Gentle. Angelic energy is very gentle. That's why a lot of us don't realize that we're around them. It's because even when they're around us all the time, it's a gentleness, it's a gentle nature that just kind of encompasses us. Our guardian angels have that. The archangels have that, especially like with Jophiel, who exudes love, but she's also very gentle and compassionate. And so when you have that, you don't necessarily right off feel it or experience it. It just is. It can be protective. There can be a sense, especially of guardian angels, a sense of protectiveness leading you to places or into situations where you are going to be protected. And you're going to feel that when you get a gut instinct, especially like if you're walking down a road and something just doesn't feel right. it's that protective energy that the angels are giving to you. They're helping you feel your intuition. They're helping you feel your gut instincts on what is for your highest good and what's of a protective state. Powerful. That kind of goes along with that strength. Powerful archangels, when they're in your presence, a lot of times, even if Jophiel's really exuding her loving power, they're very powerful. You can feel them. Guardian angels are a little bit more softer and a little bit more gentle. The archangels are a higher class of angels, and so they're going to be very powerful. You're going to be able to sense them and see them and hear them a lot more than, say, your guardian angels. They're very caring. That's one of the reasons why angels are even angels, is because they care about us. They care about what's happening in our lives, and they care enough to actually be in our lives to help guide and protect us. And again, they are very loving. They're loving, nurturing. They have a loving, nurturing energy, and they just give that out willingly. So what are they? So angels, there's a whole bunch of different angels, but they have tendencies that surround all of them. They're all in this cluster of heavenly beings. They're all heavenly sent. They're heavenly guided. And so they are all heavenly, celestial. They have that celestial presence about them because they're in spirit. They are a higher class of that spirit, and so they're celestial. Divine. Going along with the heavenly, they are divine beings created by the Creator, God, for us to have messengers that can be sent from spirit, and we can get those guidances from the divine. They are messengers. They are messengers of God. They deliver messages and deliver our messages from us, our prayers and dreams and wishes and desires, to Source or God. They are light. They are pure light. They're guides. Again, we have guardian angels that guide us, but our archangels and some other angels are around as well that help to guide us. They're protectors. Some of the angels, their big to-do is protecting us. They're confidants. A lot of times, because they are messengers for God or of God, they are there to listen to us. They're there to hear us so that they can take those ideas and messages up to God or Source. And also they can help to determine what ascended masters we need, what other spirit beings we need, what other angels and guides that we need, or if we're asking for just a sign from our ancestors or our loved ones that have transitioned, then they can deliver those messages and let them know that we are seeking just a validation that all is well with them in spirit. They're also helpers. They help us. They help to keep us feeling connected to spirit, to divine source, to the divine. Sometimes because we've been on earth what seems to us like, a lifetime, right? Like forever. Sometimes we can forget who we truly are, and they help us remember who we truly are. Those divinely spiritual beings that have manifested here on earth. So there are different classes of angels. Some people believe there are different stages of heaven. While that's great and you can totally think that. I think it gets a little bit muddied when thinking about that. But I do believe that there are spheres of angels. There are different angels have different roles. I truly believe that. Although we can call on them all, I believe that some are, it's just like if we go into work or a business, we are maybe in a different sphere as somebody else in the same business, or we do something different. Even if we're oracle readers, maybe I delve with the fairies and the elementals while someone else delves mostly with angels. Some other people may deal with ascended masters. So I think there's just different spheres or different roles that angels play. And so the first sphere would be the topmost angels, the ones that are the closest, that work closest to God. They don't necessarily work too much with us unless we ask them to, for whatever reason that may be. But the first sphere contains these angels. They're the seraphim, or the cherubim, or the thrones. And so these actually really work with God or source, and they're on the highest level. The mid-tier, or the second sphere, are virtues, powers, and dominions. And these are just the second class. So they can go between a little bit more than, say, the first sphere. And the third sphere are the principalities, the archangels, and then the other class of angels, the angels that do other things that are just around us all the time, that are, maybe listening for our prayers and things like that. Now, there's another class of angels that I want to talk about, because they don't really go with any three of those. So they're a little different only because, and we'll talk about why that is. It's just, they're there and you may hear about them, but they're not one of those in those spheres of angels. So the first one I want to talk about are guardian angels. Now, guardian angels are they're actually kind of in between. They're in between just the regular angels and actually us. And what happens is that guardian angel is around us all the time, right? So they're the ones that maybe if we're not calling on a particular archangel, and maybe we need Archangel Ariel, maybe we're having problems with our pets and we kind of just think, oh gosh, I wish there was something I could do. I wish I knew what I needed to do for my pet, and just nothing's coming to you. Those guardian angels hear your plea, and they actually ask the archangels to intervene for us, because they know that we're asking for something, and maybe we just don't know that Archangel Ariel actually helps with animals. So, or maybe they ask, somebody else to come in and help with that idea that we're needing help with. So guardian angels are wonderful. They're also protectors and guides to help us and lead us in the right paths. And so they give us those little nudges. These are more gentle, more kind, caring, compassionate. Their energy is softer than, say, normal angels or archangels, but they're still around us all the time. Also, earth angels. Now, you've probably heard of earth angels. I did, I think, mention it just a few minutes ago. Earth angels are people, but they have a tendency at times to feel like angels. And we all have this capability because we're all divine beings. And so we can all assume that earth angel quality, especially when we're kind and caring, compassionate, when we are guardians, or we are ones that help, like doctors, firefighters, police officers, teachers, even just someone walking down the street, seeing someone choking, and they take it upon themselves to help them by doing the Heimlich maneuver and helping in that way, or being compassionate and helping our fellow human beings. These are earth angels and guardian angels. We kind of go along together with that. We still have that divine being about us. We still have that connection to source. And so we can tap into that at any time, especially in times of need. Also, elementals. Now, some people put them in the same classification as angels only because of the fact they are in spirit. Now, I separate the two because as we work with angels, they're a little bit more celestial, heavenly, that. And when we work with elementals, they work a lot on the earth. They work a lot on the earthly plane. And as we go into the chakras, the transpersonal chakras, and we work in a transpersonal manner, which transpersonal means just anything outside of the individual or the person being, that would be outside. Even our auras are outside of our physical being. So that's even working in a transpersonal manner. Now, when we work with the transpersonal chakras, below our feet is called the Earth Star Chakra. And this chakra, when we work with it, we can actually work very well, tap into not only Mother Gaia and her energy, but we can also tap into the fairies and the gnomes and the brownies, the sprites, the nature spirits, our animal guides and spirits. There's so many that are on this plane of existence that we can work with, but they are spirit, and some people deem them angels as well. So, and there again, because they are spirit, they can work anywhere, but they really like the earth plane. That makes them feel like they're contributing in their way. They love the earth plane, and so they work in that manner. And because we've manifested in this physical earthly existence, they help us as well. So there again, the elementals can include fairies and pixies and sprites, unicorns, pegasuses, and a lot of times people will say that one of the reasons for this is because unicorn energy is very high. It is a pure loving energy, and so they almost put some people also put unicorns in that same light as some of the top angels that are there, like the first sphere, because they are so pure and full of love. But they're also elementals, I feel, because a lot of times you'll feel their energy more here on the earthly plane. And those tree spirits, green men, green women, the green children, the tree spirits, the nature spirits, all of those are still those elemental beings. And the last one you may not have heard of, and that's okay, actually, but you probably have heard who they are. So the angels of Enoch. Enoch was a prophet, and he is actually the great-great-grandfather of Noah. Now, most of his books and writings didn't go into the Bible as it is. They're actually called the Book of Enoch. And so that is a separate book that has all of Enoch's writings in it. And with the angels that Enoch describes, he talks a lot about that first sphere of angels. And he actually, when you read it, you can see the classifications of the angels a little bit when you read that. But he talks about the different angels. But something that happened that was interesting, and the reason why I'm bringing Enoch into this, is because he ascended, people say, he ascended because he was a prophet. He ascended to become Archangel Metatron. And so with that, He was a person, but he was so pure and knowledgeable that he ascended into that status as an archangel, and he became Archangel Metatron. Now, one other person that is talked about in the Bible is the prophet Elijah. And they say that he also ascended to become Archangel Sandalphon. So these are the two, and they call them the brothers or the twins, even, and there's some, discrepancy on whether that's true or not, but they call them brothers because they both were prophets and they both ascended to become archangels. They're again Enoch into Archangel Metatron, and the prophet Elijah into Archangel Sandalphon. So, whoop. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you were able to get maybe a golden nugget from that information and learn a little bit more about who these angels are. I will link down below to the first of these 4 in this series that are dedicated to my new course coming out, which will be coming out soon. It is Angels and Spirit 101. So we can delve a little bit deeper into who these angels are, what spirit is, how they're separate, how they're the same, and how you can work with each and every one of them. Thank you again so much for spending some time with me today. As always, I'm sending you and yours love, light, and eternal blessings. Take care.